Okay, I've been checking out the house. I've got my list. I think I'm going to focus mostly on finishing up the windows, which I need to do in case McNatt comes. And then I'm going to focus on safety issues because we will have quite a few people coming through the house. We try to make sure everything's as safe as possible, but I've noticed a few things that could be improved on. And one of them is something I've been dying to show you, and I just keep forgetting to film it. And if you've been watching these videos, I'm a pretty calm person, but this is me giddy with excitement. I'm so excited about what I'm about to show you. And there's a little bit of a long story about it. When I very first bought the house, I found something on Facebook Marketplace that I just had to have. So I bought it. It was a bit of a splurge at the time, and it was located up in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And so I was Facebook messaging through Marketplace with the woman I bought this from, and I didn't really have a way to go up and get it. And she's like, no problem, it can stay here as long as you want. She had an antique store or a booth or something, and she said, it's not in the way, we'll keep it as long as you need. And so every couple of months, she and I would message back and forth. We're kind of friendly now and got chatty. And so years went by until just a few months ago, my husband needed to go pick up something in Missouri. And I'm like, and of course he tells me like the day before he's leaving. And I'm like, can you schedule everything so that you can come back through Hot Springs and pick up my item? And he's like, sure. And it was, I guess it was the evening before he left, so I didn't have time to contact the woman. I thought I'll do it in the morning. So he gets in the car early in the morning and leaves, and I get up and get on the computer to message her and tell her that he's on the way. And Facebook has wiped out all of my messages, and I don't have a way to contact her. I can't find her. I don't know the name of the store. I was just devastated. So I get out. Well, I was going to say phone book. Oh my God, I'm so old. I don't get out the phone book. I get on the internet and I start looking at every antique or vintage kind of store or mall in, did I say Little Rock? I think it was Hot Springs. I'm sorry. Whatever, Hot Springs. And to see if anything rings a bell and if I can find this person. And this went on for about 3 hours. I was getting pretty frantic. I didn't know what to do. And then finally it dawned on me, how did I pay for that? It had to be some kind of electronic payment. So I started going through my credit card receipts and everything, and I realized I paid for it through PayPal, and PayPal still had the transaction and it had an email address. So I emailed her, and fortunately she saw it, and with just about 30 or 40 minutes notice, she was able to get to her store and meet my husband and load this baby up. So it's a miracle that it's here, but let me tell you what it is first, and then I'll show it to you. So on the plans that Clayton drew, I'm in the kitchen for a reason. There was a gas stove and the big, it's not a fireplace, but it's a big chimney for the heat to rise up. This is where they brought gas into the house. And remember, they had gas way before electricity, so they had gas logs, gas central heat, gas stove. And on the plans, there was a gas water heater or boiler showing beside the stove to heat the water for the house. And the Victorians had these water heaters. They were very dangerous. I've done a video about them when they first started out, about how they blew up all the time. They didn't have pressure relief valves, but it was such a convenience not to have to boil water on the stove, but to have hot and cold running water in the house. So above us is that big copper tank on the third floor where water goes up from the cistern. It gravity fed down in here into the hot water heater, and then the force of the weight of that water could push it back up to the second floor bathroom where it was needed. So right over here where I'm storing the toilet and my scupper is where that water heater would have sat. So let me show you, because you've probably already guessed what I bought. is this beauty. It's a fully intact water heater. And it's what we would consider a tankless. And I'm going to get the tripod and see if I can get the door open for you. It is spring-loaded, and it is extremely difficult to get open. And look, it's still got all of the parts on it. And I don't even know what all of this is yet. I've got to research, find out what that little guy is. That may be part of the pressure relief system. Look at the detail on it. It's just so cute. Now, it's not quite old enough. I think this one is from like 1910, 1915, somewhere in there. But it's just so remarkable for its completeness. And the reason I thought about it as I was going through and doing my safety walk is it's very unstable. It's on 3 legs, and I can grab it and tip it over, even though it's pretty heavy. So I'm going to get some wire. We've set it here. I'm going to wire it to the wall to make sure it's secure so that nobody grabs that and pulls it over on themselves, because it weighs a ton. Let me show you what it took to get it in here. Juan says he's very strong, but he is not strong enough. The table's heavy too, but he is not strong enough for my secret surprise in the corner there. My husband is freakishly strong, as is my daughter, and it was everything they could do to get it in there. This is a table my husband found on the side of the road. He found 2 of them, and they make great work tables. They're nice, yeah, and the legs go up and down. You can make it taller or shorter. And there's 2, I have 2 of them, so you can put them side by side. So I'm going to put my chop saw on there to cut all the beadboard and stuff, so we can just roll it around. All right, they know the method. Legs first, then tilt, then leg, then tilt. Most people don't know how to do that. All right, Juan doesn't believe me. We can unstrap it and drag it over here, but you'll see it's like... And it's had a long journey. It came from Arkansas.
Where?
Arkansas. Hot Springs, Arkansas. What about... Okay, my daughter did put this in here.
No, está pesado.
Alright, I'm gonna go get a more flattering side. Yeah, is that leg?
Yeah, this is loose.
Yeah, see the legs loose. See the legs just bolt on. So you have to be careful.
Por eso le digo que sí.
Do you want me to help? Maribel, you want me on your side?
Yo sí puedo aquí. Mejor agárrelo porque si se cae.
Oh no, you cannot. You cannot. No, 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 no. Dos. Yeah. Just get it on the ground. Yeah. Upside down. Yeah. I don't know why not. I don't think it would hurt it to put it upside down. Yeah. It would be better. It wouldn't be so top heavy. It'd be more stable. You want to just lay it on the ground and then turn it upside down?
Yeah.
Right now. I can't climb the ladder. I can't do anything. Oh, yeah, you might want
Maribel says I need the elevator. I need the, yeah, I do need the elevator. Y'all need the elevator. Right?
Dale, ya la agarré. ¿Puede?
Remember, were you here, Maribel, when they brought the radiator downstairs? I don't think you were. Ricardo will remember. Ricardo will remember. It's down. This is not as heavy as the radiator. Of course, you're going up and not down.
No tenemos.
¿No sube?
My husband is very glad he didn't have to help. He's moved it twice already. He did not want to do it again.
A esto si nos vamos a
Look
mover
at the
aquí.
detail on it. Look at it.
Y esta sale
cool?
de doble fori para que las. Sí, porque si no
I'll
se
show
nos
you all the
mueve,
inside in a minute when it's upright.
Como ya están muy viejos. Se quita el diablo.
¿Seguro?
Y luego alguien me ayuda para.
Oh God. Yay.
Tranquila.
And then let's spin it around.
Yeah, no, pues me voy a levantar porque si no los zapatos van a
Sí, ¿para dónde?
Is there something wrong with that leg, you think, sir? No.
No.
That's good. That's perfect. Perfect. No more than you have to.
Hey, you gonna dance?
You want your picture? do the water heater dance. Hold on, let me take your picture. So Juan's holding it open. It's on very strong springs, but look at the coils where the water would circulate through, kind of like an Insta-Heat water heater today, not a tank. Water through the coils and the big gas jet burners down here on the bottom that would heat these copper coils and heat the water. So pretty cool. Don't get your thumb in there. Oh, and that's a safety.
You need
Oh,
open?
That's a, so this is a
Yes, this is for the lock.
latch. When he opens it, it drops in and holds it open. But yeah, no, you can close it. I don't want somebody to accidentally get their
Okay.
fingers in there. Let's leave it closed. Juan wanted his picture made with the water heater. He just loved it. He thought it was the greatest thing, and I was happy to oblige. As always, these guys are so wonderful to work with. Their attitude is always great and positive, and we just laugh and have fun no matter what we're doing. I'm so grateful to have them. But it is a busy time for us. The steampunk event is actually tomorrow, not in video time here, what you're seeing, but in real time as I'm working on this video tonight. So I am going to just leave you with the next segment is just a through shot we did of a complete kind of primer on the window work that's going on. So it might be a little repetitive for some of you, but for others that haven't seen the prior stuff, it's a good short summary of what we're doing to get those window sashes ready for McNatt. And that is where we will pick up next week. Hopefully when we come back, we'll be through with the windows and ready to move on. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to go to bed. So here's the window work. Okay, today I am going to work some more on the windows, and we've been going so fast on these that I don't remember what I filmed and showed you or not. I know Heather was here again
A couple days ago, we worked on the windows. She did some glazing for the first time. I showed her how to do that. And of course, as you would expect, she was great at it. She's so patient and precise. But I don't know that I've actually filmed the process. So we have our third to last, I guess, halfway point window up here, and it is almost ready to glaze. So I thought I would show you the last little bit and do a quick recap. So we've got all the old glazing out. It's had a little bit of wood filler in it. This one was in pretty good shape, not too much. It's got a coat of primer on it, and I've just borrowed Joe's razor blade from her floor scraping in there to go ahead and clean the primer off the window and get a good surface to glaze against. And this is a window where we left the glass in. And again, there's, you can take it out and do a lot of cleaning underneath the glass and start fresh. We'll see that on the one that we were forced to do that because of window repair. But because of the curved glass, there's a risk of breaking when we do that. So we have elected to leave these in place where we can and just reglaze. Now, you don't have to get 100% of the glazing out. It will stick to itself, and especially with the primer on it. But we wanted enough out to be able to run a smooth, clean bead along here. And this one took a couple of days. It was not cooperative, but I think we finally got it where we wanted. And remember, there are these old glazing points in there. We're going to double check that those are pushed down and not sticking up to get in the way. And we'll continue to do that all the way around when I get on the other side. The other thing I want to do, and I just had it in my hand and I lost it, is just run a quick sanding block with some sandpaper over it to smooth out the primer. It was a little old and gunky. It's still good in terms of its ability to prime, but it had a little trash in it. I just want to make sure we've got a good surface. And I'm just doing this by hand. It's not any more than just, like I said, taking off the ridges from the paintbrush and a few pieces of trash here and there. Once I get that done and fully scraped, I'm going to get my little mini blower and blow this off. I've already used glass cleaner and cleaned the glass real well. I don't want any oil or buildup. Joe, you might want to move. I'm going that way. Oh, wait, I don't have my battery. Let me grab my battery. Joe was just laughing. We have a sign up that says don't touch. Have all our tools laid up here. We made those actually because this is very delicate down here, and our fireplace in the parlor is extremely delicate. But we probably do need to get that off. We're sending mixed messages. Okay, that looks pretty good. And as I said, I've already cleaned the glass, but I'm going to take a dry microfiber and just dust real well around those edges, which is not easy. It grabs on all those points and catches, but I just want to pick up any bits of loose dust, anything that would keep the glazing compound from sticking. Now, the next thing I want to do is use my little glazing points and go around and look and make sure we have enough glazing points, because we did lose a few in the cleaning process. And these are easy to put in. They're somewhat difficult actually if the wood is hard, but it's got a little lip on it. I don't know if you can see.
Move your hand over here.
I don't know if you can see. It's got a little bend in it that this pushes against. And I showed you the old ones were flat, and actually laid this on the glass and tapped them in. This has that little ridge. So I'm just going to look for places where we may have lost a glazing point or two. Oh, actually, this one has more in it than some of them did, so we may be lucky on this one. Make sure the corners are pushed down. This window actually looks pretty good. I don't think we lost any. But since this is a recap, I'll put one in just to show you anyway. So you lay it on the glass, put your edge on it, and then just wiggle and push. This wood is kind of a medium hardness, so it's going in okay. Sometimes they're really hard to go in, and you have to get the hammer and do that. But I think we're good to go with the glazing on this. So again, I'm using this Austin's Glazier's Putty. It's made by the people that make the Sarco Type M, and basically it is Sarco Type M, but with a serious dose of mildew inhibitor in it. And so it's made for this hot, moist weather in the Southwest. And there are a couple of methods to put this in. Some people knead it and do it with their hands, and they're really efficient at it. Some roll a long snake and put it in. I'll show you some examples of that. It doesn't work well for me. It makes a mess. What I have found works for me, and let me get back to glazing putty. Some people take it out and knead it really well to make sure it's combined and the oil has been reintroduced. This is brand new and it's very well mixed and workable, so I'm not having to do that. But as it sits, it will separate because, again, it's just boiled linseed oil and calcium carbonate, and the oil will separate. But I just get some on a very flexible putty knife and do like this and fill in that channel. And again, when we're finished, we want the edge of the putty to be at the edge of that rabbet underneath so that when you're looking through it, you don't see it. So I'm going to overfill just a little bit because you come back and take the putty knife and make a smooth bead. And then this then can just roll away. But we'll do that all the way down this window. And that's actually a lot of putty. So we've only done 2 windows when you get down to it. And we've used half of this because McNatt glazed that third one. So I'm going to have to buy some more. This volume is pretty large. These rabbets are very wide. This channel is deep and it holds a lot. But it's just a slow process. But again, I'll go through and overfill this a little bit and then come back in one motion and clean this up so that we have a smooth line. Now, you have to be careful. It's very pliable, and when you stick your finger in it, when you pick it up, it'll leave dents in it, and if you drag your knife, you'll leave grooves in it. So that's why we have to be careful. Do it all at once and then let it sit and cure. So I think I said, and I hate this when I say wrong things, I think I said before it has VOCs, and I may get a comment on that from some of you purists. A VOC is a volatile organic compound, and it's just molecules that freely come off kind of petroleum products like toluene, ethylene, propylene glycol. It stinks a lot, so that's why you hear low VOC paints. Pure linseed oil does not have any VOCs in it, but this is not pure linseed oil. When you hear the term boiled linseed oil, it means they've taken linseed oil, not necessarily boiled it, but maybe heated it up and added things to it to help it cure and dry faster. And the things they add to it are VOCs. So it's a low VOC, but it does have VOCs in it. But in general, you don't want it to dry or cure too fast. It actually, this linseed oil, I don't know if I'll get the terminology right. It's like rust. It's an oxidation process. I think it's called auto oxidation. My chemistry has left me. But it reacts with oxygen in the air and hardens. So it's a curing process. And we don't want it to go too fast because this has to stick to the wood and stick to the glass. And as it dries over time, it will start cracking and breaking, like we saw that decorative relief on the cornice boards. It just keeps going and going and going and going over time, and that will cause shrinkage and cracking. But it takes a long time, especially if you maintain this, because it needs oxygen to do that. Now you want it to cure some because we need this to skim over. So come look at this one over here. This was done a couple days ago, and I can touch it with my finger. I can feel it's not hard, but it's not taking a fingerprint, and it's to the point where I can paint it. So that's why they add things to it, because it's a fine line between drying too fast and not drying enough, because we want to put a coat of paint over this to slow that process down. So we need it skimmed over to paint, but not drying so fast that it loses its effectiveness, because some of these glazing compounds can last 30, 40, 50 years if they're maintained properly. And unlike these windows where we took everything out, if you get a bad section, you can replace just a section if it's still good. You don't have to do everything every time, but you do want to keep the windows painted, maintained, and inspect them periodically, because once it starts cracking and drying, that's when water gets in and starts damaging the wood and getting behind the glass and doing bad things to the window. So it's just a long, tedious process, and I think this is, I don't know, day 8 or 9. Y'all are probably tired of looking at us work on windows, not as tired as we are working on them. I'm a big project person. When I get into the tedious stuff, I lose interest pretty fast. And this is tedious, but it does have to be done right, because we have one opportunity to work on these windows while they're out of the frames and on the ground. So we want to do as thorough a job as we can and have them in as good a shape as we can when they go back in, so that they will be preserved and be able to last another 130 years. I guess these are 130 years old. So hopefully in 130 years, somebody will be looking at these saying, boy, they did a great job. So anyway, that is my task for today. I'm going to finish up this one. Joe and Pat are here, so they can help me move it. We'll swap it out for that last great big one over there. Got a lot of touch up to do on it, get the old glazing out, get it primed and done like this, and then I'll start working on the really, really bad one over there. But this is just one project for today. If you have any questions about glazing, let us know in the comments. I know there's probably more information that I've forgotten, but this is a very old method. They've been doing this forever, since the beginning of time. Linseed oil and pigments are the basis of a lot of the old master oil paintings, and they used egg yolks too to make their paints. But it is not new technology and not a new process. Sometimes the old ways are the best, like old people like me.